Good evening, adventurers. It's Megan with Blue Mermaid Travel, and I am here with this week's Walt Disney World at Universal Studios Florida weekly update for the week of April the 30th, 2018. It is a Sunday night. It's like 10 o'clock, and it's really late for me. Usually I do this on like Friday or Saturday and try to get it rolled out, but weekend got away from me, peeps, and it just didn't happen. So here I am doing this tonight. This week was a little bit different. I think I have more to talk about Universal Studios this week than I do Walt Disney, which is a little unusual because usually it's the other way around, but whatever. So let's go ahead and dive right into Universal Studios for this week. So first of all, Universal released another sneak peek for one of their haunted houses for Halloween Horror Nights this year, and this one was Stranger Things themed. They had already announced that this year's overall theme for Halloween Horror Nights was going to be Stranger Things, so I'm not super surprised to see a haunted house that is Stranger Things themed, but I am a super big Stranger Things fan, and this one looks really cool. The YouTube video looked really, really cool. Like I said last week, I am not a fan at all of haunted houses. A lot of times they're just way too intense. I don't want zombies jumping out at me. I don't want anybody grabbing me, and the dark is not my favorite place to be. However, I might make an exception and sacrifice myself to go to this particular haunted house. I shared the video on our Facebook page, and if you are not following our Facebook page, you can find us at facebook.com/BlueMermaidVacations. I share things from Universal a lot and Walt Disney World a lot, and then just us a lot. So it's a way to kind of keep up with what's going on. So it looks really, really cool. I am sure it's going to be amazing because it's Universal and they do a really good job with their Halloween Horror Nights. Never met anybody who went who thought that they wasted their money. So if you are a Stranger Things fan, you need to find time to get down to Universal sometime between the end of September and the beginning of November and do this. And you need to take me with you. Number 2, Fast and the Furious Supercharged, as we said last week, opened early. This week was their official grand opening, where they had the media and they had like super famous people show up, like Vin Diesel and Ludacris and Jordana Brewster, and basically the whole Fast and the Furious gang came rolling into Orlando to do this. And I saw some video clips and it looked really cool. Just kind of getting to see that. So that was awesome. I haven't heard a lot about the ride in particular. Like, it's kind of just been quiet. I would have thought by now, if it was really, really terrible, that we would have started hearing something, or really, really great. And I kind of haven't heard either way. So we'll see. On the tail of that, though, we do have a rumor about a new ride that is being built as we speak. We can see the construction for this ride is currently underway. So I think it was last September, Universal's Dragon Challenge roller coaster closed down permanently. This came on the heels of some really nasty guests having really nasty injuries, including one where a man lost his eye, which is never a good thing for any major theme park, because apparently like something flew at him and like it was bad news. Anyway, so I guess after that they decided it was time to shut it down. If you're not familiar with it, it was like a roller coaster that had 2 separate roller coasters that were supposed to duel each other as they went. So when it first opened, they would run simultaneously. And then there were injuries that started occurring, and they thought, well, maybe we can kind of tone this down by like not letting the roller coasters run simultaneously. So they would run them at different times to avoid injuries, but apparently that wasn't enough. So they shut it down. And there's been a lot of speculation about what's going to go in its place, because that's a large piece of prime real estate sitting over there in Islands of Adventure if it's not being used for something. So now that that's kind of, now that, spring is here and Fast and the Furious is open, I guess we can start on some other project, and this is the project. So it looks like this is going to be a Harry Potter themed roller coaster that will be for the entire family. Now, when Universal says entire family, it means something a little bit different than when Disney says entire family, because I think when Disney says entire family, it kind of literally means entire family, all the way down to like the littlest little ones. Whereas when Universal says entire family, I think it really means more 9, 10, and up, kind of, just based on the height of your child, because the height requirements of the two parks are very, very, very different. But it does seem to it's going to be Harry Potter themed, and a lot of the speculation suggests, because I think it's been kind of tossed around before, that it's going to be based on Hagrid's flying motorcycle, which I think is going to be very interesting and could be very cool, especially if you're going for a family-friendly roller coaster to go over in Islands of Adventure. Theme Park Crazy did a really awesome video last week about it, with a lot of the background and the resource and information about it. They can explain it way better than I can. So I am going to put a link to that video in the description. So if you want to go check it out, you can. I'm sure Theme Park Crazy would love to have you come on over and watch it. And you can hear more about it. All right, moving on to Disney this week. So, not a whole lot from Disney this week. They're kind of quiet. I mean, there was some stuff from Universal, from Disneyland out in California, but not a whole lot about Disney World. Don't worry, they'll make up for it. So, the big news this week is that Disney is really pushing the expansion of their extra magic hours this summer. And this makes sense because I think you've got Animal Kingdom celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, and you've got Toy Story Land opening up at the end of June, and I think that they're expecting really big crowds in both of those parks, and those are the two parks that are getting the extended extra magic hours. So, here's what it said. Select mornings, so not every morning, from now until June the 30th, Walt Disney World guests staying at select resorts can enjoy extra magic hours access to the most popular experiences at Animal Kingdom, including the Pandora attractions, Dinosaur, and Expedition Everest. From the way that it was worded, I think those might be the only attractions that you were actually going to get extra magic hour access to. The way I understand it, these are like extra magic hours. So like you've got extra magic hours, and then you've got extra magic hours. I don't know that for a fact, but that's the way I'm interpreting it. And because the only things that have been mentioned in the release are Navi River Journey, Flight of Passage, Expedition Everest, and Dinosaur, those may be the only 4 attractions that are going to be open for the extra magic hours. So if you're hoping to get there super early and hop on Kilimanjaro Safaris or Kali River Rapids or whatever extra early, you might be disappointed. So that's Animal Kingdom. Then it says in July and August, there will be daily extra magic hours at Hollywood Studios. Not a surprise at all, because Toy Story Land is opening. And from what we understand, the Slinky Dog Dash and Alien Swirling Saucers, they're not going to be able to get through as many guests in an hour that the Pandora rides can process. So Pandora can get through more people per hour than these two rides are going to be able to. So that means if you do not have a fast pass, you might be waiting in some really super long lines. And like, I know you're like, oh yeah, of course, Megan, there's going to be super long lines. I mean, really super long lines, because the lines are just going to move slower. So that's going to be kind of interesting. So what they're doing by doing this is they're allowing their resort guests and other guests, and I'll tell you who those people are in just a second, to get in extra early so they can go ahead and get in line extra early. You know, I'm interested to see what the early reports say about Toy Story Land as soon as it opens. It's going to be busy one way or the other, and we know that, but I'm not sure that even Disney is sure about how busy it's going to be. So we'll see. So according to Disney, these are the resorts that are going to be eligible for these extra magic hours. Guests staying obviously at Walt Disney World Resort hotels, the Swan and the Dolphin, Shades of Green, and the Disney Springs Resort area hotels. You will qualify as long as you have a valid park ticket. Please don't show up without a valid park ticket. Come on, people. And a valid hotel ID, which I'm going to guess translates to your hotel room key. That means I don't know if you are staying at a resort that has the virtual key that you can use on your phone. I don't know if they would accept those as proof as your valid hotel ID or not. If it were me, I would take my actual hotel room key just in case. Because you don't want to get all the way over there and find out they're not going to let you in. So, anyway, so that's what we know about extra magic hours for this summer. I'm sure Magic Kingdom, Epcot, they're going to have their extra magic hours, but these are special magic hours. Okay. Disney After Hours dates for Magic Kingdom were released this week. If you've never heard of Disney After Hours, this is a separately ticketed event, just like the Halloween parties and the Christmas parties are, but it's to very few guests, and you are allowed to come into the park as early as 7 p.m. with your ticket, and you get to stay until the park closes, which for most nights is 1 a.m. There's a few nights where it's midnight, and they have 25 attractions, like the biggest attractions in Magic Kingdom, basically, including Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and apparently Ariel's Undersea Adventure. Wait, that's Disney. That's Hollywood Studios. The Little Mermaid ride that's open, and I think Space Mountain, they were specifically mentioned in the release, but I'm sure 25, so it's pretty easy to pick out which ones those are going to be. Those are open, and you can basically, there's almost no wait for those rides. There's just so few people allowed in the park for this. So those dates for Magic Kingdom Disney After Hours are June 28th and 30th, and that's from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Don't show up at 10 a.m. July 7th, 9th, 14th, 21st, and 28th from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. August 8th and 11th from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. August 30th from 9 p.m. to midnight. And then September 20th from 9 p.m. to midnight as well. But like I said, you can get in as early as 7 p.m. and stay until the park closes. Just like you do with the Halloween parties and the Christmas parties, you can get in extra early for those things. The nice thing about these is that you can stay and you aren't having to battle the heat and stuff like that. And that's really nice when you're talking about June, July, August in Florida. Price for these tickets are $119 plus tax if you buy in advance, $124 plus tax if you buy day of. Don't buy day of, just buy in advance. It'll be easier. And there's so few, they allow so few people in the park, these sell out pretty quickly. So don't wait until day of. You may not be able to get in anyway. So that, I think, that's it for Disney news this week. Holy cow. Do you have questions about Universal or Disney that you want answered? Drop your questions in the comments, and we will try to answer them for you. Or we'll find somebody who can answer them for you. And we'll either answer them in a video or respond to you. Don't worry, we get notifications. If you are ready to start planning your next Disney or Universal Orlando trip, give us an email at info@bluemermaidtravel.com, and we will start planning your next magical vacation. Otherwise, have a fantastic week, and remember that adventure is out there.